Welcome back to the Integer Islands. We continue our adventure with each island revealing a new math skill. Last time we conquered the following lessons. And the next island will discover the skill of multiplying integers. By mastering today's skill, you'll be able to solve problems with speed and accuracy. In this video, I'll be revealing two powerful keys that have transformed my students' skills. Stay tuned to discover what they are and how they can work for you too. Let's jump into it. Starting with the first key. Many people believe that multiplying two negative numbers should give a negative result. Let's use math to debunk this myth and reveal why the answer is actually positive. If we had the following expression, what is another way we can write this in a shorter way? Yes, we can use multiplication, saying 8 groups of 4. Both expressions mean the same thing. Now, if multiplication is the shortcut of addition, let's uncover the multiplication rules using this idea. But before we jump into it, we need to quickly recall the skills from the previous lesson of adding and subtracting integers. Do you remember the direction you travel on the number line in the following cases? Adding a positive number, we move right or up the number line. Subtracting a positive number, we move left or down the number line. Adding a negative number, this acts as a subtraction question and we move left or down the number line. Subtracting a negative number, what direction do we move? Yes, this acts as an addition question, we move right or up the number line. There are 4 different multiplication rules we need to solve. The first is when we multiply a positive by a positive. This is quite easy to solve. However, let's break it down slowly to really understand the later cases. Let's rewrite this back as an addition question. Since the first term is positive, this is adding 2 groups of 3, which we know equals 6. This helps us confirm that when we multiply a positive by a positive, we get a positive answer. Now the next case. Again, let's rewrite this as an addition question. Since the first term is positive, this is adding 2 groups of negative 3. Remember, when we add a negative number, this acts as a subtraction question, which equals negative 6, telling us that when we multiply a positive by a negative, we get a negative answer. Our third case. Since the first term is negative, this reads out as subtracting 2 groups of 3 equaling negative 6. This confirms our maths idea that multiplication is commutative, meaning we can change the order of multiplication and still get the same answer. So our rule is when we multiply a negative by a positive, we get a negative answer. Finally, case 4. Since the first term is negative, this reads out as subtracting 2 groups of negative 3. Remember, when we subtract a negative number, this acts as an addition question, and this equals positive 6. So our final rule, when we multiply a negative by a negative, we get a positive answer. Now the second key. In this next segment, you'll discover an alternate way of thinking about multiplying integers. This new perspective could be the breakthrough that makes you remember all the rules with ease. Imagine multiplication as a sailboat on the ocean, where the result is determined by 2 things: the direction you are steering and the wind's direction. In this scenario, a positive answer reveals that you are heading in the direction you want to go, while a negative answer reveals that you're heading in a direction you don't want to go. So looking at our example, 2 times 3. Since the first number is positive, this details that you're faced in the direction you want to go. Then the next is also positive, meaning you have a positive wind pushing your sails, which will result in a positive outcome, being pushed in the direction to the destination. Next, 2 times negative 3. Again, the first number is positive. This explains you're facing the direction you want to go. However, the next number is negative, meaning you have a headwind, which even though you're faced in the right direction, the wind will drift you backwards, which will result in a negative outcome. Next, -2 times 3. The first number is negative. This details that you're faced in a direction you don't want to go. Then the next number is positive, meaning you have a tailwind pushing your sails, which will result in a negative outcome, being pushed in the direction you don't want to go. Finally, -2 times -3. The first number is negative. This details that you're faced in a direction you don't want to go. However, the next number is negative, meaning you have a headwind, so that the wind will drift you backwards, which will actually be a positive outcome, being pushed back to the direction you want to go. You now know all the key information on this concept. However, can you solve all exam style questions? Watch this next video to master questions easily.